Hey guys, Miss Hawkinson here. Happy Wednesday. So something I want to talk to you about today is grit. And as you are watching this video and before you dive into your work, I want you to take a minute to appreciate the grit that both you and your family is showing, especially as we switch to this online learning. One example I want to give that you kind of have to think about a little bit and differently is an example that I think of all the time, and that's Mrs. Yak, Miss Jackson Smith, and Miss Schmansky. So we started putting these videos up on YouTube and have been asking you then to switch over to Google Classroom and do your work. And we knew that this was kind of a bulky and cumbersome process, but none of us quit. And I want to shout out Miss Jackson Smith, Miss Schmansky, and Mrs. Yak, because all of them have been trying to make these videos fun and engaging and purposeful for you, but then also easy to use. So we were able to figure out a way to put the YouTube video into Google Classroom into one form to make it easier for you, so you didn't have to go between all these screens and apps and stuff like that. So that's one example of grit that those three teachers especially are showing. Now I want you to think of an example of grit that you've showed, and I'm sure you've been showing grit a lot of different ways, but think of something outside the box. So one example that I can think of is if you guys have logged into ResKids at all, or even if you logged into ResKids this week. Logging into ResKids takes a lot of steps. For most of us, we have to go through Clever, then we have to open ResKids, then you have to download a new app, you have to find where the kids login is, put in your teacher name, and then find your name and your password, and then you've got to get to your assignments. That's a lot of steps. And if you've done that, you have access to all these books at your reading level, and you have access to quizzes. You have books that are a little bit harder, you have books that are a little bit easier, but you have all these topics that you can read about. If you've done that, that's one example of grit. Those of you that have done your assignments every day or 4 days, that's another example of grit. Those of you that haven't been able to get into Google Classroom, but you and your families have been trying every single day, you've been texting your teacher, you've been working with your teacher to get tech support involved, like such grit, because it's frustrating and it's different, and it puts a lot of the learning on you and your family when you guys are like, everybody's kind of going through a lot right now, not seeing your teacher, not seeing your classmates, and still being positive, still doing your work. Grit. You guys are amazing. And if you're a little bit tired one day and you're going a little bit slower on your work and you're not sure you want to log into Google Classroom and do it, take a breath. Text your teacher, talk to your mom, go play with your baby brother, sister, cousin for a second. Like, that's okay. Take a second to breathe. But then remember all that grit you have and get back into Google Classroom. Show your teachers what you know. Send us a message. We get them all. We love them. Text your teacher. Send a picture of us trying to do your work. Your grit is amazing. You're amazing. I miss you so much, and I'll talk with you soon.